Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to an episode of Top Tier Talk. Today we are covering round 4 of the FA Cup, I think it is, and we'll be covering Southampton Arsenal, United Liverpool, and Chelsea Luton. So to begin with, we're going to start with the GOAT, Martinelli, and the Arsenal team. But where do I start for that game? When I saw the lineup, I wasn't expecting much. You see the likes of Willian and Pepe together. They don't really cause much; they just cause havoc together. And then I was expecting a little bit of Martinelli, the GOAT, and I was hoping he'd maybe put it in. I don't know, he might put in a big performance or something like that. And he got subbed off for Saka, so another GOAT. But there's one player who actually started pissing me off who's actually getting a little bit selfish in my eyes. I don't know if you guys want to agree, but Eddie Nketiah. He's really getting on my nerves. Something needs to happen to that kid, whether we sell him or put him on loan, because every single chance I saw him have at Southampton, he's such a selfish little wanker. There was one as well where it was him and Lacazette. And all he had to do, was just literally lay it off to Lacazette, and then Lacazette could turn, bang, goal. There you go, 1-1, and then we could have gone into extra time. But no, selfish little wanker decided to fucking hit it, scuffed it, and he's like, oh. And honestly, I can see every Arsenal fan can agree with me on that one. Nketiah needs to go out and loan. Fucking get rid of Willian, get rid of most of the deadwood in that team. And then speaking on the game, there's nothing much you can do. Southampton had a good game, and then they've started playing 11 men behind the ball. There's nothing you can do when you beat that. It's like
pure sitting back.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing we can do. As soon as they scored that one goal, let's sit back. Exciting, kick it in the corner like FIFA bollocks, isn't it? To be fair, Cedric's having a good couple games now. He's stepping up to the plate. Hopefully, in the Premier League he keeps starting at that right back position and keeps challenging Bellerin. Bellerin's not really having a decent few games, is he? Gabriel, shit happens. He got the own goal, but he's a quality centre back. I know Pablo Mari's somewhere out there, and I hope he really, really does improve and still get his arse back into the team. But look, at the end of the day, we lost. It's a stupid loss. We should never have lost. It's a stupid mistake. Nothing more you can do. You can only move on, and hopefully we can do something in the Premier League moving forward. But
I personally, sorry to point. I personally think
you better be sorry.
Yeah. I personally think that you say about Southampton sitting back, but they're normally a team that like to counter attack. I think that Southampton alone, I think this season, they're up there, aren't they? They're top half of the table. They got players on form, so that take nothing away from them beating you, because I know you've got a good run in the cup, you've got a good record like Chelsea, United, teams like that, but take nothing away from 1-0. Like you say about Gabriel being a good centre back, he is, but yeah, again, as you said, it's just a silly goal to concede, isn't it, really?
It's one of them ones. It's a mistake, and nothing you can do about a mistake. You can't really slam him and say, look, never again. It's one of them. It's a deflection.
They just got the goal, and then, I mean, like you say about them sitting back, they didn't sit back the whole game. They made sure they got that goal and then defended the lead.
Last, which 25.
I think, I'm not being funny, I think they done it, but that's a good thing they done it, because, they ended up progressing to the next round, so fair play to them.
Yeah, no, look, honestly, I'm not taking away anything from them. They had a great game against us. It's just the fact that usually when we play in the Cup, we usually turn up and put a fantastic, but prime Barcelona performance in the FA Cup. But for some reason today, don't give me that little squint, Nick, you gimp.
Come on, prime Barcelona, that's a bit much.
You remember that Wilshere Norwich goal? Come on, back in the day.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Listen, well, anyway, but I'm just saying, it's quite annoying that we don't get to go through to the next round, because usually that's our kind of peak performances, but nothing you can do. Tip your hat off to Southampton and moving on to the next game, I guess. Anything else
before you move on?
Yeah,
I'm going to say, did you guys see Balogun's tweet in between the game?
Yeah.
Trolling.
Yeah, too fucking right. He should have been played instead of fucking Nketiah. I was
going to mention as well, you say about Eddie Nketiah. What? No, you won't, come on. I was going to say about Eddie. Eddie. I think he's just getting a bit too big for his boots, isn't
he?
No, but you mentioned it, and I straight away completely agree, because I thought he's a player that's got good potential, but at the same time, there's there's having good potential and there's getting above yourself. And I think that's just him at the moment. I think he needs to remember his level and just try and keep getting better. But he's just trying to be above everyone else now, and it ain't working, is it?
Yeah, he wants all the headlines to be about him. He wants it all to be like, oh, look, Eddie Nketiah scores the winner for Arsenal, this, that, the other. Look, relax, son. Like, you're only like 21.
Do you know
what I mean? You need to relax yourself a little bit because who knows what could happen in the future if you actually humble yourself a little bit. But, oh, well. Who knows? Moving on.
You're out.
Yeah. Nah. You'll be out next round.
Come on. Nah. Progress. Barnsley next. Come on.
Oh, yeah, easy.
That was probably what saved Arteta's job last year, maybe. The FA Cup win. So
nah, he's staying. Chavez, moving on to the United Liverpool game, 3-2. Bruno Fernandes late goal. With these two Chelsea fans were mugging him off before the game, saying he doesn't score against a top 6 team. Chavez, what do you have to say about the game, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, brilliant. That was actually like the first time where we played a big team and, didn't change our own system. We actually played like how we should play, how we normally play, instead of accommodating for the other team that we play. Like we didn't play 3 at the back, or we didn't change we didn't make a defensive change, and we attacked them and we won. We put our authority into that game. We went for them and we beat them. Rashford was brilliant. He loves Liverpool, doesn't he, that guy? Yeah, Bruno, I mean, he just keeps proving people wrong week in, week out. We can just sit back and watch. Like, you can try and have an agenda against him. It's not going to work, is it? He always proves people wrong. There's one thing that he hasn't done, which is I think he didn't score against the big team. There was something going on about that. He's proven that wrong straight away. And then Mason Greenwood as well. It was good to see him get his confidence back because he's had a tough period. So, yeah, it's a good win. Liverpool are a bit depleted, so it's always good to beat Liverpool, but this isn't Liverpool.
Yeah,
the centre-back who are playing at right centre-back isn't the Liverpool quality you expect.
To be fair,
we took our chance.
I weren't actually, like, you say about me and Amir, like, we weren't exactly mugging him off. We were just saying, like, stats is stats, and it's what something on Twitter, and it was saying, like, his goal scoring record against the top 6 isn't as good, but I know his chance creation is one of the best, if not, isn't it the best, Shavez, at the moment currently?
He's second.
Or second. Well, De Bruyne's the best, obviously, because he's unreal. But I think with Bruno, like, there's nothing to mug him off about. Like, it's just a fact. But yeah, again, come off the bench and he just he shows everyone why he's your best player at the moment. Like, that's the goal you needed. As you said, it's not Liverpool at the moment because they got so many players out and it's not their actual squad. You come on and just, won the game for you. It's fucking good form, isn't it?
I said that to my brother actually about Bruno Fernandes. I honestly think, Chavez, if you didn't sign Bruno Fernandes back in that January transfer, you wouldn't be where you are today. I honestly think
no way.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
You'd be like 8th or not.
We wouldn't have had Champions League football this season.
Yeah, you'd be in deep shit without him. I honestly think if he gets injured, you are in deep trouble.
Yeah,
I don't think Pogba's going to fill that position, is he? He don't really give a shit about your team.
Yeah, he can.
Well, he can, yeah, but he hasn't got that same passion or, like, do you know what I mean, for your team. He just like.
To be fair though, to counter that point, I think maybe they wouldn't be as bad as you guys say. Like, I know he might be injured. You say if he does get injured, but he's kind of changed the morale of the whole team as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's such an impactful player.
Everyone's more confident. They're playing better. So maybe even if he does get injured, they might not.
He's got such an ego though, Pogba, isn't he? Because
he does, doesn't he? It's so annoying.
It's like, I remember, like, the classic meme it used to be was, more haircuts than goals, because he never used to score or even contribute for United. And he had such a rough patch, and he was such a much better player at Juve in his prime, like, compared to now. And he's sort of come, but now there's talk of him going, all of a sudden, Chavez, you'll agree with me, recent, like, 3-4 games, he started performing really well for you. So I think that's like.
To be fair, if you win a World Cup, if I won a World Cup, I'd have a massive ego as well. Like, I think it's more about us supporting him to win a Champions League. He could have left a while back, but we didn't give him.
But this is besides the World Cup. His ego's massive besides the World Cup.
Kante doesn't.
He won a World Cup. I'd have the biggest ego in the world, mate.
Yeah, well,
Kante doesn't have that.
Kante. He drives a fucking Mini Cooper.
What does that make him though? What is that? I could drive a micro to fucking work and it'll be different.
I see Nick's point. He's humble.
I know, yeah.
As in humble. He's humble. Like Chavez saying about an ego. Yeah, fair enough. But besides it, everyone knows he's got such a character, Pogba. He's like that he has got such an ego about him. But I think you want to look at keeping him before he moves to Madrid or something, because when he's on this form like this, he look at the other night, he scored you the winner, things like that.
Yeah, well, moving on to 1 minute with Daniel Brown before we move on to the Chelsea game. Daniel, what would you like to say about Watford?
Well, since the last podcast, we're going to have to try waffle in 2 games here. So the Tuesday after the last podcast, we beat Barnsley 1-0. Fairly routine game, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't a great game of football, but more importantly, at the top end of the table, we beat Stoke 2-1. Stoke fans seem to think they're on a big run of form here, but we managed to stop them. And it was the whole meme of a cold, windy night in Stoke and blah, blah, blah. And we managed to do that. Also, this isn't my words, this is Sky Sports. But they also said that Troy Deeney's assist was something you would want to see from De Bruyne. They aren't my words, but they were some top quality assists.
Really?
He actually looked quite good.
I wouldn't go as far as to say Deeney is up there with De Bruyne, but
Wait,
this is founder's level.
De Bruyne does it week in, week out.
They weren't my words, but his assist.
Yeah. He is quoting, to be fair. He's right.
Look, fair enough.
His assists were very good quality. And it was a brilliant finish by Sarr as well for the second goal. So hopefully he can kick on and prove his price tag.
Fair enough. There you go. I'll let Shavez time in it. All right, moving on to the last game. Nick, do you want to start us off, as Amir currently isn't here? Nick, what do you think about that Chelsea 3, Luton 1 game?
Yeah, obviously it was a must-win. Well, not must-win, but Prem games, all like 3 points at the moment for us is big, Mm-hmm. So I think that besides the cup, our general form is really important at the moment. So I think, it's obviously a good win, but obviously it's another game expected to win. It's typical cup games, isn't it? Typical cup teams you draw. Luton, Morecambe, all. I think it was good. The team that Frank picked, all different players got minutes in their legs, we got Barnsley next round. So I know we got a really good record in the cup, won 8 FA Cups. So let's just see next round. Hopefully we'll keep progressing and getting through to that final again.
Just a quick word as well. I want to bring it up. I know you probably hate me for it, but when Werner was on that penalty, do you reckon? I know he's missed it. I know you can tell by most of the pictures and videos out there that he's quite annoyed with himself. Do you think that, like, going forward, let's say for example Abraham and Werner starts, do you reckon Werner will still get put on the penalties, or do you reckon Abraham will get put on them or something like that? To maybe boost his confidence. Maybe you might want to keep him on it just to hopefully, if he does score one, then he's back.
No, 100%. I think that when Jorginho was on it, I think that where he don't play as much anymore, it's Kovacic and Kante in the middle. I think that with having Werner on the penalties, that it will boost his confidence, because he'll know that if it's scored, it's another goal to add to his tally. But it will hopefully get him going, because that's what he needs. He needs a confidence boost.
He needs that goal.
But like, not even just a pen, just an open play goal, a nice runner play finish. Like Tammy, like hat-trick against Luton. I mean, I know it's Luton, but at the same time, every goal is so clinical. Like, you just think that it was really Drogba-esque. The header, lovely ball in by James, by the way. But
I have to agree.
Lovely clip into the box. But besides that, Werner and Abraham link up is going well as well, because Werner assisted him for the first. Nice little cutback. I think that playing the two up the top will be good, because it's good link up play. As I said the other week, like Ian Wright with what's his name? Ian Wright with Nelka. I know, and you look at Rooney
and Shavez, maybe? I don't know if they were strong together.
Yeah, well, there's all Drogba, Lampard.
Bergkamp played a little bit behind.
It's all link-up plays. that hopefully will work out for us. So you got to start with a 2 to give more of a chance for goals created and chances, you know. So yeah, no, it's one of them penalties. He was unlucky. He's frustrated with himself. I do feel sorry for him because he ain't got started, but he does need that, let alone the penalty.
Yeah,
he needs that open play goal to get him started. Hopefully, you know, soon
he does pick it up.
Soon comes he starts to pick things up. Yeah.
Exactly that. So going forward then, as you say, because Tammy scored a hat-trick against Luton, and maybe if he could bring that over to the Premier League, but you still got the likes of Giroud on the bench. Let's say, for example, you were in charge of Chelsea. What formation would you play?
I'd go with a 4-2-2, 4-2-2-2. I'd go. I'd go. This would be my starting lineup.
Okay.
Mendy in goal, right back James, 2 centre back Zuma and T Silva.
Yeah.
Left back Chilwell. 2 centre defensives, Kante, Kovacic. Right attacking Ziyech. Left attacking Pulisic, and up front I'll go with Tammy and Werner. I think Havertz. I think at the moment, I think either Pulisic or Havertz can fill in that central gap. And Pulisic, if he plays, can act as a winger, and obviously Havertz can go more central. But I think at the moment, wait for Havertz to have the kind of games where he comes on the 60th minute and gets a run of form, and then if you see progression, start him. At the moment, he needs to be dropped because we need to find that form with him first. You don't play players that aren't on form.
Exactly, like say for example, like you spend the money on him, but there's no.
Of the season? What about Mason Mount?
But I was just going to mention about Mount. I say Kante and Kovacic. That's another rotation. Kante and Mount, Kante and Kovacic. It's to be rotated, but defensively with Kovacic, or more offensive, you go with Mount, and he could be the player you play off of, because he seems to be the only one trying at the moment. Mount, he's the only trier in the team, you know.
Only one who actually wants to play football for a passion instead of for a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that would be my lineup: 4-2-2. Plan B, like I because Frank doesn't have it. It's like maybe even start. You know, like how Conte had the 5 at the back.
Yeah.
I'd maybe sort of try that out here and there, because that's what won us the league actually. And I'll play Azpilicueta in there because Azpilicueta yet again is the best in right centre back. He's found out in a 4, and he's found out at right back. So I'd maybe do that as a plan B, see how it goes, and you can shuffle with that team and depth.
Yeah,
you can do a lot with it, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And what about you, Amir? What do you think about the Chelsea Luton game?
So yeah, I agree with Nick with everything. I think we had to win the game. Lower league side. Tammy did very well. I think he's worthy of starting the next Premier League game. But Werner again, I feel sorry for him because he was good. He was hardworking. A lot of running. Penalty, if he scored that, would have been very good for his confidence. But it happens, isn't it?
Shit happens, exactly. Yeah.
I'm happy Kepa's not in goal anymore because bloody hell, that mistake.
such a blunder, wasn't it?
That's a bad blunder.
You put money on every game Kepa starts. Like, he's not our number 1 anymore, but cup games like this, like I know it was a good strike and it was like mad conditions with the snow and everything.
Straight at him, Nick. I don't even think it was that much of a good strike. I know his vision was a bit impaired.
Like, I know it was a good strike, but then at the same time, my point was going to be, it was straight at him. Like under his like hand, like you get a strong hand to them. That was like having fucking Rob Green in goal or Gomez, Herrera Gomez. You know what I mean? Like,
so with that save, would you say it's more or less like a it's an unlucky save, or would you like fuck Kepa, like she should have saved that?
That's not an unlucky save. That's a bad. It just makes us think more how important Mendy is. Sorry, Nick, to interrupt.
No, it's right because that's why we brought Mendy in, because he's number 1. He's fucking made such a good start, and he's good with the way our team's set out. But at the same time, Kepa, it just makes you wonder that when he plays in the cup as well, like it's just blunder after blunder. Like, to be fair, he did make a fucking good save towards the end when a Luton player got in. Shavez was saying the same thing about that. Like, it was a really good save. He did make
50-50 though, isn't he, Kepa?
Yes, 50-50.
He runs hot and cold. He's like, he can make such good saves and pull them out the bag, and then make a blunder like that where it's straight at him, and he should get a strong hand to it. But as Amir said, like, I'm with him. It does make you really appreciate Mendy, you know?
Yeah. Amir, just a quick question for you before we move on. So let's say, for example, next Premier League match, I don't know who Chelsea are playing, but who would you go for your... Is it Wolves? Okay.
Wolves, yeah.
Who would be your number one striker? Tammy, Werner or Giroud?
Based on the last game, I think Tammy deserves it because it's a hat-trick. He's in form. I know it's Luton, but any opposition he scored, it should be Tammy.
Yeah.
And then I do hope...
Still 3 good goals as well.
It was exactly very good point. Good
As I
goals,
said, they're all clinical, yeah.
There's no reason for him not to start.
Exactly. It has to be, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, boys. Well, that covers the FA Cup round 4. But something we want to touch on before we end this podcast is Frank Lampard. He has been sacked by Abramovich. Boys, Chelsea fans start. What do you think about that?
It was always going to come, wasn't it? If the bad results kept happening, as you just look at last season and think he got us top 4 with basically a youth squad, or they're mostly youth players that have come from the Chelsea development and the youth, and we had that squad with just a couple of other players like Pulisic, Rudiger, and players like that. But it was mostly overall a youth squad, and we still got top 4. You know, you just look at it and you think he's got us top 4 with that team, and then we've made all these signings where we had the transfer ban, and you know, as a Chelsea fan, we're all so excited for this season because you think, oh blimey, top 4 with that team, we got these players now bought in. Like, think of what we're going to do this season, and then he just hasn't got started. It's like an overload of new players. His team last year and our strategies out the window because he's had to then like refigure things about.
Yeah.
But no, as he's a club legend.
Will he still be in your heart?
100%, 100%, without a doubt. It goes without saying. It's like saying about that, like with Amir and Arsenal with you. You know, like he's always going to be a legend.
Yeah.
But I just think that personally, I would have given more time. Because I feel that he's been hard done by, you know, cup final last season, top 4, beat big teams on the way to the cup final, United, Leicester, you know.
It's usually the case with Abramovich, though, isn't it? Usually he's very, very quick with like sacking people. If he sees something not going his way, he's like, Cole, go, bye-bye. He doesn't give him enough time. As you say, like previously, Nick, when you're talking about Conte's 5 at the back, I reckon... If he gave Conte a little bit more time, who knows where you'd be right now? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's a great manager for you, in my opinion.
100%. And it was the Conte Costa bust-up that sort of led to them both leaving. And as I said, I'd still have like Conte managing us now because of his formation, his passion. That's what we need at the club. But it was the first time Roman Abramovich released a statement when the managers left to Frank, being that he's a club legend. He just said that it goes without saying, he'll always be a club legend and have a big part in Chelsea's history. And he said that, you know, it's been so difficult to make this decision because he has been, you know, because he is a club legend. It's just unfortunate things didn't get going from this season compared to last season. But if that's what the board are upset with, even how much it is difficult, then so be it. We just want the best for our club. We don't want, you know, scrape performances. We don't want non-consistent performances. We want consistent performances, and we want the best out of our new signings and the best out of our team, you know?
Yeah, no, 100% agree.
So, yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, of course. As I said, I do feel sorry for him. I would have given him longer personally. But if there's no plan B and no second strategy, then he's had time to change that, and so be it. But I'll always fucking love Frank for what he's done in the past.
Super.
You know? Always will. Super Frankie Lampard.
Yeah. That's it, mate. Amir, what do you have to add to that, mate?
Nick's nailed it on the head again. Chelsea's timing with everything is always off, isn't it? I think on the back of a win against Luton, why sack him? I think if he was to get sacked, and I'm sure they've been thinking about it, should have been after the Leicester game. We would have given Tuchel more time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Tuchel, isn't it? We'd give him a bit more time. FA Cup game, just get himself in, know the players. Now he's got 2 days before the Wolves game. Every league game is important. We're trying to get top 4. On Frank, I was a bit more vocal with being Frank Lampard out compared to everyone, and I got a bit of a stick from it, especially Shavez. But yeah, I know. But do you know what I mean? We buy 250 million worth of players.
You kind of expect a top 4. Yeah, you have to kind of expect that.
Because that's the same as last year. Last year he overachieved. Yeah, in my opinion.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was maybe too many signings. That's what hurt us this season. Trying to implement them.
It's not enough like gelling. Do you know what I mean? There's always trying to find that trying to find that combination of just like what works and what doesn't.
And I think he was confused on what his best starting lineup was. I don't think he ever found that, which also hurt him. But
that was exactly my point. It's like it was the gelling. Like that's why I feel for him, because the reason why he done so well with like the youth, the overall youth squad, was because he managed well at Derby, got him to the playoff final. He was good with Jody Morris as the assistant, and he knew what to do with that kind of caliber of players, youth, because they're up and coming, and he does bring the best out of them. Players like who he signed have already made a name for themselves and really shone out to everyone. It's like he was sort of baffled as to how to fit them in with his strategy with the youth squad. It's like, I mean,
I want to hear what the other two think about it as well.
Yeah,
the other two
boys, Shavez, United fan. Well,
you're very vocal.
Fan.
I want to know what you think.
If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be very annoyed right now. I don't get why you hired him. It's like if he's going to be treated like every other manager, where he was going to get given 18 months, then you shouldn't have ever got him. He was obviously not going to be like, he doesn't have the trophy cabinet like other managers. He was always going to need time. I just feel like it's a bit of time wasted for him, and it just kind of isn't.
He was kind of like thrown into it, wasn't he? He was doing well at Derby, and they were like, "Oh, Chelsea need a manager. Quickly, let's get him."
It's good for us fans because now it's 19 games in. We get to compare the next 19, whatever Tuchel does, and we will see. But I don't like now. Your players are under pressure because Werner and these lot have to perform. If it was a manager who couldn't do it, then now we'll see. And we'll see if you get that new manager bounce. But I personally found it a horrible decision. You shouldn't have got him. If you were going to treat him like any other manager, you shouldn't have got him in the first place.
Yeah, if he was anyone but Frank, I reckon he'd be gone about 6 months ago.
But at the same time, though, I think there could only been a Frank in that season when we didn't have any new signings. He knew the team, he knew the youth players because he was at the club till about 8-9 years.
Then you should have given him a temporary contract, like a year contract or something, not whatever he got, because it felt like a long-term project, didn't it, when he signed?
Yeah.
Chelsea's a very short-term thinking too.
Yeah,
isn't it? We were very short-term thinking.
Like I'm with Shavez on it as well, because even though I want what's right for the club, at the same time, I think it is a horrible decision to take, being that he is such a legend. And yeah, he would have been sacked 6 months ago if he wasn't a club legend and he was just an ordinary manager. But at the same time, I just think that he was always going to need time. He's not a Jose, he's not an Ancelotti, he's not one of them, he's not a Pep. So I just think, Tuchel as replacement, he's got experience at Dortmund and PSG. He knows how to manage big caliber of players. And let's just see how he gets on. I know he will do well, and I'm just hoping for the best. But as Amir said, it's a bit of a fucking hard one for him. We got Wolves Wednesday. He's only got a couple of days.
A lot of time before or after the Wolves game.
Leicester game would have been perfect. After the Leicester game.
Because you think like Frank, if they were to do it after Leicester. We then beat Luton. I know it was in a cup, but you'd normally sack after a manager's like loss. You wouldn't do it after a win. I know it's in a cup, but prem results.
A win's a win.
But
exactly. Win's a win.
But like it's a bit thing after a win. It's just one of them. But Tuchel flying, especially with the COVID protocols at the moment. All the quarantine and stuff like that. It's going to be hard for him to come to the country, prepare, training, and then go. Play Wolves Wednesday and try and get a result out of it in the dugout with all them players. Let's just hope, touch wood, we get off to a good start with him. But yeah, man, it's really a hard one to take as a fan. It really is.
Dan, anything to add to that, buddy? As Watford's a club where they love to sign a lot of managers.
This was going to actually be one of my points, but just to touch on a point Nick just made. With obviously the COVID protocols, obviously I know they're tested and whatever, but I don't know if you can come in for the Wolves game because I think it's at least 5 or 7 days from.
No, sorry to interrupt. Isn't he an elite sports stars? Elite sports stars or something?
Yeah, it's elite.
Yeah, I don't know how it actually works. Is he actually? I didn't.
He's been in London for a while, boys. Fab said he's been in London for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
He's been ready. He's been sitting there on speed dial.
He's ready, waiting.
You're in Paris, London, isn't it? It's not far. Of course.
Calais, Dover.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to quickly touch up.
Sorry, man. I was just going to say it's not exactly flying in from another country, but at least it's already here, ready for Wednesday.
Yeah, true.
Hope for the best.
I was going to say, I think Tuchel makes sense for now because with the 2 German players, German speaking, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
He knows Thiago Silva from managing him, and he knew Pulisic, so it kind of makes sense. He can build a bit of a relationship with some of these players. So
it's just I hope you guys wish come true, I guess.
We'll get the manager back for sure. I'm sure.
Exactly what I was going to say. He knows the players. Hopefully, he gets the best out of them.
What'd you say, Dan?
No, I was going to say my point. So I only just touched on the subject of Nick, and then everyone else took over.
Sorry, Dan. Go on.
It was obviously managers being sacked is something I'm clearly passionate about. But no, what I was going to say was since the time frame, since 2010, we've had 14 different managers, but you've now had 11. So do you think you're somewhat becoming a sacking club as well? Because 11 over across 10 years or so is still quite a lot.
It works for us.
Yeah, it works for us. We've had a lot of success from it. Look at how much silverware and over the years what we've had. I mean, like you can't really compare Watford to Chelsea because no. I'm not.
No, we've got different objectives, but
yeah, well, you're a whole league below us, and no, I'm not. But it's facts though. I'm not taking a piss. It's just the truth. Like they're a whole league below us. Our expectation is top 4. Contend for the fucking league every year at least. Get to the knockout stages of the Champions League, things like that. But I think that, like with us, we've had a lot of success with it because whenever we have had a manager win the league and win cups, and then it hasn't worked out, we've sacked them, got someone new in, and then they've won us the league, FA Cup, League Cup, whatever. So I think that it's not that we're a sacking club. I just think that Roman wants whatever's best for the club, and that's it kind of thing. But
he's very quick to act though, isn't he? He's very
quick. That was more of my point, not going off Chelsea and Watford are the same. But like obviously I know the objective's different as you said. But like to get there you obviously want the best for the club. But I think you are borderline, obviously not as renowned as us because it's become a meme. But you are, I know you said obviously you win silverware, but still sacking manager after manager, it only works for so long. But no, I do think it was. I think
for 15 years.
And then it depends where is the border of time. Do you give it too long? And as you said, if you give it to the end of the season and you don't finish top 4,
you've wasted to the end of the season.
What could have been? Time. Or if you sack him now, is it going to be too early? You won't know. So it is a hard decision to make. But yeah, it's also the poison chalice of going back to your old club. Like obviously, she said Frank's still going to be a legend, but it might have tarnished slightly.
I don't think so.
I
think we'd take him back in the future. I think we could if he gets experience.
Not take him back. Well, maybe, but nothing will tarnish. Like he's stated that he's one of the biggest Chelsea legends there ever has been, if not the. Obviously,
him and JT.
As well as Terry. Yeah, I was just going to say, but
totally.
I think, mate, not taking back as such. I think Terry's on the agenda definitely for the future as manager. Let's see how it goes with our next run of managers, how Tuchel gets on, and so on and so forth. But I think that we'll definitely take Frank back in the sense of maybe backroom staff or something to do with the midfield, like how Czech comes in for the keepers. And definitely in the back room, mate. Not in the dugout because he's had his time. But I think as maybe to help out the midfield and bring the best out of them, staff.
Start fresh, I guess. But anyone else got anything to add to that? Are everyone cleared up on that?
No, we're cleared up. Frank's gone.
Tushawira, that's it.
Tushawira. Let's just look onwards and upwards and hope we.
Let's see what happens.
Come on, you really Stella drinkers.
Up the chills, wee.
A lot of people don't like Tuchel though, so I've seen a lot of bad opinions on him. So
you get most people out there who just badmouth anyone. Though.
Yeah, they're all. It's not if anyone. They jump on the bandwagon. All these trolls on Twitter and stuff like. I mean, you say about badmouthing, but that's nothing. Anyone can badmouth anyone, and then you just think, oh, they're all just saying that. Wait for them to actually see how they do with the club, and then go from there and see the truth.
Someone said on Twitter he made PSG an advanced Leicester in the Champions League. We'll see what happens.
Not being funny, he got him to the final. So whoever that person was,
exactly, to him.
Yeah,
good one.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly it. Well, thank you very much, guys, for today's podcast. It's been an emotional one with Frank. But that was good covering the fourth round of the FA Cup. But
a minute silence for Frank.
Shut up, Dan.
No, he's not there. He'll be back. He'll be back on BT Sport next week.
Yeah,
he'll be in a new manager role soon. He'll have a little break and come back to managing.
Yeah, he'll come back. He'll come back.
We'll have him time.
We'll take him We'll take him as a guest.
But join us next Monday for match week 20 when everything's actually played on the fucking weekend this time, not like one this day, and you have to wait fucking 6 weeks for the next match. Jesus, so annoying.
We'll have a game tomorrow.
Big.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, imagine if there was fans. That kicked right off that,
wouldn't it? But anyway, to everyone watching, thank you very much and take care.